Hello everyone, welcome to BC Lagotra Manula channel. This video is intended for people that are unsure if they want or need to crate their dogs. I am not here to convince you one way or the other, but simply share my thoughts about this practice. I will briefly talk about the rationale behind it and offer my own opinion based on personal experience. Initially, people began to crate their dogs sometimes in late 19th or early 20th century for obvious reasons such as transportation and at the dog shows to keep the dogs safe from being lost or injured. We also use crates for this purpose in our time, but for some reason the use of crates has become a norm for everyday life of many dogs. It is the most common here in North America. I came to Canada about 25 years ago from Eastern Europe and encountered the practice of crating dogs here. Until I moved to Canada, I never met anyone who would crate their dogs at home. It appears here that people are divided into a larger group that is absolutely adamant in thinking that crating the dogs is the only way to keep the dogs safe. Much smaller group want nothing to do with crating, considering it is as a cruel practice. When I have a question to myself about what would it be the most natural for a dog's environment or food or anything else, I always take a step back and think and observe. Wolves are the closest relatives for dogs in the wild, and they will find a den only for the purpose of whelping and raising pups. As puppies grow, they start to explore the den, eventually coming out of the den and extending exploration and eventually joining parents for hunts. All other times, they do not stay at one place to sleep, but walk their territory, hunt and sleep in different places. I can see the exact same needs in my pregnant dogs, looking for a den for whelping and raising puppies, and as puppies grow, dog mom would start to feed pups outside the den and invite them to go outdoors. This behavior gives me the answer to my question. At certain times, the den or crate is essential, but for most other times, it is just another space and personal preference of the dog. Some dogs like to sleep in tight spaces. Some prefer a cool floor, some a soft couch or bed by the fireplace. This preference can change day to day and can be seasonal, as on hot summer days, cool floors would be preferred place for most of my dogs. When a dog is closed in the crate, there is no choice left. Of course, by observation, it can be determined if the dog is comfortable or not, but some dogs do not show discomfort and may suffer silently. It is obvious to me that crates can be useful and comforting for dogs, and I do not oppose having crates in the house. I have multiple in different rooms, but most of them have no doors, and the ones that have doors are almost never used. So let's talk about the reasons people lock their dogs in crates. First one is for dogs' comfort. This reason is completely out of logical thinking. If a dog is comfortable in a crate, there is no need to close the door, yes? I know that many families struggle with crate training, as puppies refuse this comfort and cry in a crate. This forced comfort can be damaging for young puppies. Think about it. Your puppy came into your home leaving mom and siblings behind, and instead of bonding with you, puppy must sit alone in a crate to get used to it. I see how stressful it is for a puppy to lose all his siblings and playmates in one day, when I have one puppy left alone from a litter, even though the surroundings is familiar and mom is still around and other dogs. So to compensate, the pup will join the new pack instead of his litter mates. He will come for a walk with all big dogs and have a nap on my lap or beside other dogs. Dogs are social animals and crave to be around his family members. It also reminds me of young children that clings to mommy, but as that child ages, confidence comes and the child becomes more independent. Same is for a puppy. Some breeds, though, are more independent than others. Lagota Romagnola would like to be in close proximity to you or on your lap. At least all of mine like that. What I'm trying to say is that your dog will be comfortable anywhere as long as you are there. Another reason is for house training. This is absurd, as puppies have immature bladder and they need to pee when they need to pee. Holding urine can lead to bladder infection, more often in puppies and senior dogs. It is true that puppies will hold it longer in a crate due to instinct to keep the living space clean, but this can backfire if the enclosure lasts longer than the puppy can hold. Also, it is true because the less puppy moves, the less puppy pee. Puppy that runs around and plays can pee every 10 to 15 minutes, but the same puppy can sleep for 7 hours straight without waking up to pee. Puppies at 9 weeks can sleep through the night, but of course, this is individual and can be different for different dogs. Creating a puppy for house training is also counterproductive in a sense that the house is not explored and is not considered as a living space, so puppies will eliminate themselves in the house with no shame. And I believe creating your puppy will prolong house training overall. I have never created any of my puppies, and all were house trained by 10 weeks. Not that they didn't have any accidents past 10 weeks, but they understood the concept of going outside to eliminate themselves. I have doggy doors for this purpose and would recommend it for every dog owner as it gives your puppy a choice and your life will be much easier and happier too. I have a separate video for house training if you're interested in tips, but I would not recommend creating the pups for this reason. Crate is a safe place for the dog. It is sure very safe if the dog is shipped somewhere or has to stay at the vet office or at the dog show or any other unfamiliar and potentially dangerous places. In such circumstances, it is very appropriate to have a dog in a crate for protection. But what about locking the dog in a crate at home? What is so dangerous for the dog to have freedom at the place he lives? Of course, you have to puppy proof your house. No wires on the floor or your favorite shoes or anything else. Potentially dangerously, puppy can chew. Puppies are curious and busy creatures that constantly want to explore and play. By locking puppies in the crate, in my opinion, we protect our homes, not dogs. I am not saying that puppies should have access to the whole house right away. That would be insane. But access to large enough area to run around, explore, have toys, chewing objects, and new and interesting stuff every day to prevent boredom when left alone, preferably with free access to outdoors and crate if a pup wishes to sleep there. We do the same thing with our children, give room to explore, but restrict to safe area, expanding the area as they grow and understand more. Being free and life in prison are two different things. Even animals in zoo nowadays have huge areas to roam around and protected area they can go and hide in if they choose to. Before, animals were kept in small cages, crates. I remember until now how awful it was for me to see wolves in a small cage back home. Tears would come to my eyes even now when I remember leaving them in these conditions. It is a slippery slope to keep someone in prison for their safety and tell ourselves we do well to do so. There are plenty of restrictions in this world applied to dogs. Most dogs walk on leash all the time for their whole life, and cages at home for safety too. It is very, very sad to me. By creating the dogs, we keep our house safe from damage. This is absolutely true. However, a tired and mentally stimulated dog is the best behaved dog and will not have time or desire to cause real destruction of your house. Of course, puppies love to chew, and we can easily provide appropriate and attractive chewing objects like bones, cardboard boxes, old leisure shoes, old socks, and so on. I find that chewing plastic toys sold in stores does not work, at least in my experience, pups would rather chew wooden sticks and than plastics from the store. Also, puppies, just like human children, are looking for entertainment all the time. It is unfair to keep them enclosed in crates for the purpose of saving our house. When I have a young pup, I would restrict the pup to half of the first floor with access to the yard if I'm not actively watching, or block stairs if I'm at home and the pup runs around me and other dogs. You need to prove your house just like you would prove your house for a child. If you want your puppy to be comfortable in a crate, praise the pup when he or she chooses to go in a crate. Give your pup a bone to chew in a crate. Hide treats there so pup can find pleasant surprises if he goes in a crate. If you choose to lock the door, open it before the puppy wants to come out. But in general, having crate around will make your pup familiar with it. And if at some point you need to keep pup in a crate for whatever reason, be it in familiar places or the vet, your puppy will happily stay there. No problem whatsoever. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you can see my point of view. If you have any comments or your experience with crates, please let me know. I will be happy to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.